we're back. And we're married. Don't. Sorry there hasn't been a episode in a couple weeks. We didn't do one when we were on our honeymoon, but then last week was like a really long week for us. I was not doing well, and then Friday, Odin was not doing well.
He's better now.
Yeah, he's better now. He's fine. I'm doing better now.
Oh, he's ignoring me.
Oh, he's ignoring.
Good.
We're still filming in our living room.
Chew on the wire.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a no. We tried to film this yesterday. Did not work.
All of my jokes were spent last night. I apologize.
There were so many things stacked against last night. It was one of those nights where you just gotta walk away kind of thing. But how did you enjoy our honeymoon?
I did.
We love West Virginia. Mothman did evade us, but he emailed me actually and
Did he?
apologized because he had just had a really busy schedule that week, so that's why he wasn't texting us back.
I thought it was because this building was in rubble.
No, but we filmed a lot of content for you guys. I'm gonna try to put one of our vlogs up, the TNT bunker vlog, up this weekend. I just didn't realize how hard it would be to edit a vlog. I've never done that before.
I think you're supposed to just like let it go.
No.
Like an unkempt garden.
No. Like it was like 3 hours of footage that we had because we wanted to see how many TNT bunkers we could find. We found quite a few. It was very cold that day. That was the cold day.
Nah, it's fine.
But yeah, and then we did the Mothman Museum. We filmed that for you guys, and then we filmed a wonderful small business called Ice Cream Sunday, and I will be sharing that one as well.
I Scream Sunday.
Yes, I Scream Sunday. It is literally like a dream place for me to open up locally where we live. It is so...
They had bueno milkshakes.
Oh, their milkshakes were so good. You guys will see all about it once I manage to get the vlogs edited and posted and everything. But other than that, Casey, how you doing?
I am here. It's busy season at my job.
Same, my job as well.
So, I am here.
We're kind of hanging on hopes and dreams, like fumes.
They float around.
Because I work in a salon and Casey works with a delivery company, and this time of year for us is like boom, boom, boom. So if we seem a little tired, or some podcasts might be shorter than others and stuff, just bear with us.
Or if my jokes are not on point.
If Casey's jokes, I know that at this point you guys are here for him, and that's okay.
I'm winking.
I respect that.
I'm doing it in the camera, but this is for those who can't see what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah. For our listeners.
Now my eyes just...
Also, sorry, this intro's taken a minute, but there's a lot to catch you guys up on. We have our first podcast supporter on Anchor. Yay! Thank you to Lottie. We love you. And I have toyed with the idea, and I think that I'm going to open a Patreon where for $5 a month we will send you all postcards and give you do like little live streams and stuff like that. I've been looking at it and toying with the idea. I think it would be something really good that we could do to give back to you guys that have been listening and supporting us and everything. But no, Lottie went to Anchor and put in to support us, so I'm going to be sending her a little something. And thank you, Lottie, if you're listening or watching. We love you so much, and we really, really appreciate it. We're making little heart hands right now for those of you who are listening. But Casey,
that's my name.
This subject was actually inspired by one of our favorite series. But also, I have a friend from across the pond who I love. He's very dear to me. I do love saying that. But he's very dear to me. I love him so much. We've been friends for years. He's so supportive. He's so kind. He cheers me on and everything. He wanted me to do a podcast episode on something that was not in the U.S., which I'm more than happy to do, and I plan to do more of. So I thought, why not talk about the real Hellfire Club? Well, clubs. We're going to touch on one club. But, Casey, do you know what the Hellfire Club is?
Yep, it's a bunch of D&D nerds out there fighting to save the world.
To Metallica, right?
Yeah, it's just Metallica playing D&D. That's all it is.
What if it was? Honestly, plot twist. That would be amazing.
Yeah, probably.
What if Metallica's been like...
What if Metallica's one of our listeners?
Oh, I'd probably pass out. I love Metallica. Ooh, I grew up with Metallica. I love Metallica so much. But, unfortunately, we are not talking about your fictional boyfriend, Eddie.
Plays one hell of a guitar.
Right. We're actually talking about the original Hellfire clubs, but we're going to specifically focus on one this episode.
Are they the one with the flying eagles?
No.
Damn.
Stop. So, I'm going to touch on this because he's so proud of himself right now.
I need my drink.
Not sponsored, but these Mountain Dews are fire. But
Go on.
before we started taping, we were rolling, but before we started really recording, Casey took off his wedding band, and then somehow we ended up on this whole thing about
I said Frodo
Lord of the
died
Rings.
trying to get this thing in a volcano, and apparently he failed.
So he's very proud of himself for that.
Why didn't they just fly the eagles to the volcano? It could have cut all of the everything. Everybody would have just been saved.
Honey, we'll do a podcast where you can really just deep dive into that and make it a big conspiracy theory.
Just send an eagle with a hobbit. You got it. All right.
And just take two people instead of a whole company.
No, you don't even need that. Just drop the hobbit in the volcano, full on. Just
someone just
striking.
ready to just go for it, sacrifice.
I mean, Frodo was kind of a jerk.
I can see what you're saying. Yeah. But I'm also excited because this is our very first episode where we're kind of diving into some conspiracy theory things and some secret society things. But no, I'm going to talk about the Hellfire Caves and Hellfire Clubs and kind of what they are. So there is going to be some history, but you guys just hang with me because it's worth it, I promise. So, are you ready? Hi, Captain.
I can't hear you.
No, listen, we used to have to play that.
Oh.
We used to have to play that in band. We would go tour the middle schools.
We were never in band together.
No, me. When I was in band in high school,
Was Eddie in there?
I was a percussionist. He was not, sadly, but I was a percussionist, and we would go tour the middle schools and stuff to get people to join the band, and we would play things like the Scooby-Doo theme song and all that stuff, and we would play SpongeBob SquarePants, and we would have to
If y'all were the high
SpongeBob
schooler, why would
SquarePants.
you try to get middle schoolers in your band?
But
They go to a different school than you.
we were a competing band, so what would happen is in 7th grade, 6th and 7th grade could take lessons at the middle school, and 8th graders, their last period of the day would be band, so they would shuttle them to the high school.
How did their last period get banned?
Anyways, so they would shuttle them to us, and we would practice and everything. So they were a part of the high school band in 8th grade. Because again, we were a competing band, so we would travel and do all that stuff. I'm not entertaining your joke.
I took theater arts.
I
If you can't tell.
took theater arts my senior year. It was really fun.
I have the greatest acting talent. It's a little free acting for you.
Wow. We've been blessed on this day. So I'm gonna go into a little bit of the history for the Hellfire Club now that we're back on track here. You guys strap in your little seats and hang in there, get you a snack, get you something yummy to drink, and so here we go. So the Hellfire Club was actually a name for several exclusive clubs for high society rakes established in Britain and Ireland in the 18th century. The name most commonly refers to Francis Dashwood's Order of the Friars of St. Francis of Wycombe. Such clubs, rumor had it, served as a meeting place for persons of quality who wished to take part in what were socially perceived as immoral acts. The members were often involved in politics and people who were like super high in society. Neither the activities nor membership of the clubs are easy to ascertain, meaning it's really not easy to get in these. You kind of have to be selected, if that makes sense. Think Illuminati, you gotta be selected. The clubs allegedly had distant ties to an elite society known only as the Order of the Second Circle as well.
What happened to the first circle?
Fires of Mordor, honey. I have no idea. So the first official Hellfire Club was founded in London in 1718 by Philip, Duke of Wharton, and a handful of other high society friends. The most notorious club associated with the name was established in England by Francis Dashwood, and it met irregularly from around 1749 to 1760. Some records, I did look in the research, some records say up to 1766 as well. And then in later years, the Hellfire was closely associated with Brooks's, established in 1764. And of course, other groups went by the name Hellfire Club, and they were in the 18th century. Most of these clubs showed up in Ireland. And I think I'm going to do an episode. I found a really interesting one. I think I'm going to do an episode on an Irish Hellfire Club. Kind of paying homage to...
Do they worship potatoes?
Maybe. So I want to talk about the Duke of Wharton's club because his came first before the infamous Dashwood's club.
I'm sorry, that's still... You can't tell me that Duke of Wharton is not Isaac Newton. It's just a picture of Isaac Newton.
Yeah. Casey's looking at some of the pictures of some of these dukes. Yeah. Anyways, I also want to apologize if my pronunciation is not the best. I am from the southeast United States. I come by it honestly, and I mean no disrespect at all.
I will mispronounce stuff, and I offer no apologies. I'll find something.
Lord Wharton, made a duke by George I, was a prominent politician with two separate lives. The first was a man of letters, and the second was a drunkard, a rioter, an infidel, and rake. So basically, what I would think most politicians are like.
So he's like really good at gathering leaves?
No, he's really good at having a double life. Like, he's in the whole politic realm, he's like this proper but then, you know, he has this Hellfire Club.
What's he's a proper...
No, I'm not doing it again.
No, do it. They're waiting.
Members of Wharton's Club are largely unknown. So they didn't really have a lot of records. They didn't really keep a lot of records. But he did have like some earls, and some family members. So at the time of a London's gentleman's club, there was a meeting place for every interest, like poetry, philosophy, politics. Wharton's Hellfire Club was a satirical gentleman's club. They ridiculed religion, which was like our current trend in England. Being blasphemous during this time was like a trend. Kind of like some things like that are trends right now in our society. The club was more of a joke meant to shock the outside world than a serious attack on religion or morality. It was just a big satirical thing. The supposed president of this club was the devil, although the members themselves did not apparently worship any demons or devil or anything, but they did call themselves devils. Wharton's club admitted men and women as equals, which is very, very interesting because clubs at the time did not do that because it was very society-based. Women had their thing, men had their thing. They did not intermingle within clubs. The club did meet on Sundays, and it met at a number of locations around London. The Greyhound Tavern was one of the places that they used all the time. But because women were not allowed to be seen in the taverns, the meetings were also held at members' houses. That way the women could actually show up to those because of the whole society thing. According to some of the sources, their activities included mock religious ceremonies and partaking of meals featuring such dishes as Holy Ghost pie, breast of Venus, and devil's loin, and they would also drink Hellfire punch.
It just sounds like a Pucker Man movie.
Members of the club supposedly came to meetings dressed as characters from the Bible. Wharton's club came to an end in 1721 when George I, under the influence of Wharton's political enemies, put forward a bill against hoard impedities or immorality aimed specifically at these types of clubs. And with Wharton's political position, he had to be removed from Parliament because he took part of these things and had one of these things. So the club was disbanded. Wharton did become a Freemason. And in 1722, he became the Grand Master of England. So he quit the Hellfire Club and...
Let me find out. He had a whole D&D.
Oh, okay. Now, I'm not trying to make fun of any of this, but this sounds like these guys were just living a D&D campaign.
This is what they were. That's what they were doing.
Like, they may have been the original D&D people.
They just show up at taverns and stuff. They've got women in their party. Oh, lordy.
We're gonna cut to a break real quick. Are you holding it together?
No, it's too good. I'm sorry.
So, we're gonna take a break real quick, and today during our break, I'm actually gonna be talking about something that I got, which you guys are gonna find out right now. So we'll be back and we'll talk about Dashwood's Club, which is the more infamous one that the Hellfire Caves are supposedly one of the most haunted places in the UK. So stay tuned. I hope you guys like the little tidbit I'm going to insert here, and support small businesses. We'll be right back. Hey friends, I hope you guys are enjoying this episode of the podcast. I wanted to do something a little bit different this week and talk about a small business. This is not sponsored. I found this small business in a Halloween Forever Facebook group and fell in love with their little shop. They are just getting started, and I purchased something right away, and I couldn't have it in my possession until we got back from our honeymoon. So I'm so excited to have it. So it is this very cute little phone case. Isn't it? Oh, there's my eye. Ooh, isn't it cute? It's so adorable. I cannot wait to put it on my phone. I have the chibi horror icons on there right now, and I got this off of a small business on Etsy that I found on TikTok a couple of years ago, so it's definitely time for me to switch out. But S. Hopewell Designs is the name. I will put a link in the description below. Please go check out her stuff. I still want more things from her. She's probably gonna get quite a bit of my paychecks for the next little bit. She has, for the holidays, some cute spooky wrapping paper, more phone cases. There was, I think, a floor mat. I'm not sure, but definitely go show her and her small business some love. Again, S. Hopewell Designs, I'm going to link it down below. I'm going to put an insert in here that I did for TikTok about it as well, because it's got the screen recording of me going to her Etsy, kind of showing what she has. So I hope that you guys enjoy this, and enjoy the rest of the episode. So here's a little sneak peek at her Etsy store. As you can see, I'm already in love, which I've probably mentioned before with these little Santa Claus ghost things. I want the phone case. I want the mat. I need the wrapping paper. She also has some really cute mugs, a really hilarious holy water bottle that I kind of want, and then some other phone cases and some things that maybe aren't spooky. But go and give this little shop some love and check it out for some great gift ideas. Thanks so much, guys. Hi, sweet boy. Say hi, everyone.
Oof.
I'm sorry, you guys that can't see the cuteness right now. He's so handsome.
That light's bright, dude.
Say hi, everyone. I'm doing better. The vet gave me some Maddie. Oh, you see yourself.
You
want to come over here and lay down?
No, I trust the
Here.
buttons.
Go ahead. Go. Odin. There you go, buddy. There you go. Oh, he's so cute. So, welcome back. I hope you guys like that little insert that I did. Support small business. But side note before we get into Francis Dashwood, when I took Odin to the vet was like, picked him up. He was like, he is an absolute unit. I was like, he is an absolute unit. He is was 11 pounds, 8 ounces. He's almost 12 pounds. And he's all like muscle. He's handsome. He's handsome. Oh, sweetheart.
Got that bright, huh, buddy?
Yeah, that light come bright from his little eyes. Sweetheart. Okay, so we talked about the original Hellfire Club. And now you're not going to touch my hat.
I gotta build a barn later.
Anyways, so now we're going to talk about Sir Francis Dashwood's clubs. This is where kind of the Hellfire Caves comes into play. So let's see.
Sorry, this attracted me with this yawn.
Okay. So, Sir Francis Dashwood and the Earl of Sandwich.
It's just a D&D character. Who are you? I'm the Earl of Sandwich.
They're alleged to have been members of a Hellfire Club that met at the George and Vulture Inn throughout the 1730s. Are you with us?
I don't know if I can finish this one.
Dashwood founded the Order of the Knights of St. Francis in 1746, originally meeting at the George and Vulture Inn. The club motto was, I'm not going to say that, but the translation is do what thou wilt, meaning do whatever you're going to do.
It's just Latin.
Yeah, I didn't take Latin classes.
I did. I'm not going to pronounce it for you.
The membership of Sir Francis's club was initially limited to only 12 people, but soon it increased. Benjamin Franklin is known to have occasionally attended the club's meeting in 1758 during his time in England. He was actually really good friends with Dashwood and his family.
Benjamin Franklin loves secret societies.
There are no records left. They were burned in 1774, but many of these members are just assumed or linked by letters that they sent to each other back and forth through communications. So Sir Francis's club was never originally known as a Hellfire Club. It was given that name later. His club, in fact, used a number of other names, such as the Brotherhood of St. Francis of Wye, Order of the Knights of West Wycombe, the Order of the Friars of St. Francis of Wycombe. And later, after moving their meetings to Medmenham, I hope I said that right, Medmenham Abbey, they became the Monks or Friars of Medmenham. In 1751, Dashwood leased Medmenham Abbey on the Thames from a friend, Francis Duffield.
What if all the names was the Brotherhood of the Knights of Why, the Brotherhood of the Knights of Where, the Knights of When, and How?
On moving into Medmenham Abbey, Dashwood had a numerous expensive amount of work done to the building. It was rebuilt by the architect Nicholas Rivet in the style of 18th century Gothic revival. So think your typical like big Gothic, creepy, old school style. He had the abbey like redone into that. Eventually, the meetings were moved out of the abbey into a series of tunnels and caves in West Wycombe Hill. They were decorated with mythological themes, phallic symbols, other items of sexual nature. It includes an entrance hall, steward's chamber, banquet hall, temple, and even a subterranean river known as the River Styx. If you see the links kind of setting themselves up.
They like the band. Got it.
Other areas of interest in the cave include Whitehead's Cave, Lord Sandwich's Circle,
Delicious,
Franklin's Cave, which was named after Benjamin Franklin. It is speculated that the underground temple, which lies directly beneath St. Lawrence's Church, was intended as a mockery to the church. The temple is said to symbolize hell, whereas the church symbolizes heaven. Many other symbols linked to the church in Greek mythology can be found throughout the caves, including the River Styx, which is said to represent the crossing from life to Hades and death. There's also a bunch of like super creepy faces carved in the rock throughout the caves. I looked at pictures. It's pretty creepy, actually. So the records indicate that members performed obscene parodies of religious rites, according to one source. And according to Horace Walpole, the members' practice was rigorously pagan. Bacchus and Venus were the deities of whom they most publicly sacrificed to. The nymphs and the hogsheads that were laid in against the festivals of the new church sufficiently informed the neighborhood of the completion of those hermits. And that's quoting what Walpole said. Dashwood's garden at West Wycombe contained numerous statues and shrines to different gods. Daphne, Flora, Priapus, and the previously mentioned Venus and Dionysus. Meetings occurred twice a month, and there was an AGM, like an all-group meeting, that lasted a week or more in June or September, which is around solstice change, so that's pretty interesting. Mm-hmm. Members addressed each other as brothers, and the leader,
just Hulk Hogan,
which changed regularly as abbot. During meetings, members supposedly wore ritualistic clothing, which was white trousers, jacket, and cap, and the abbot at that time wore a red ensemble in the same style to differentiate themselves. Legends of black masses and Satan or demon worship have subsequently become attached to the club. That began in the late 19th century. Rumors saw female guests, prostitutes, referred to as nuns, entering the club as well. Dashwood's club meetings often included mock rituals, items of a pornographic nature, a lot of drinking, wenching, banqueting. Due to political turmoil, Medmenham was finished, rumored, by 1766. Paul Whitehead had been the secretary and steward of the Order of Medmenham. When he died in 1774, as his will specified, his heart was placed in an urn at West Wycombe. It was sometimes taken out to show people, but it was stolen in 1829. So
who stole the heart?
I don't know. That's creepy on a lot of different levels. West Wycombe Caves, in which the friars met, are now a tourist site known as the Hellfire Caves. Pretty interesting little spot. So, as far as paranormal happenings there,
Hit us with them.
so there's an abundance, honestly. Paranormal sightings all through there. Some of it I definitely think can be people stretching things because of the name and the history attached to it. Making, you know what I mean? Like, kind of stretching things out.
They went there expecting to see something, so they did.
Yeah, I think some, of course.
Jumped at shadows.
But I have seen people who've done actual paranormal investigations at this place, and they did get some profound evidence. Of course, people report a feeling of being watched, hearing sounds of moving furniture, because they do have things kind of set up in the caves, in the little, like they would have been back then. Being touched on the back of the head or hair, hearing the crying of children, which I don't understand, or having gravel thrown at them. Growling is also a claim in the tunnels. Most of the reports tend to come from women, which is kind of interesting because the Hellfire Club was exclusively for men. This one, the tunnels, like it was men that went into that one. There were no women that were a part of that club. So, one of the most well-known ghost stories of the Hellfire Club caves is said to be that of Paul Whitehead. Paul was the steward who had his heart put in an urn. So the heart was stolen by an Australian soldier, and it was almost 100 years after he had passed away. Sightings of a man in 18th century clothing are reported throughout the caves, and they're believed to be Whitehead, who's, I'm not gonna say he's like, where's my heart, but I mean, if he spent a lot of time down there and he loved that place that much where he wanted his heart taken out and put in an urn and put there,
He may have some attachment.
yeah,
to the place.
that seems like attachment to me. Another ghost story that I found a lot of people talking about was of a local chambermaid named Suki.
Suki.
She was a very attractive woman, from what I understand. It said that Suki was lured into the Hellfire Caves by a group of local pranksters under the false pretense that she was to wed and run off with a wealthy man that she fancied when she was working, doing her thing down there. Her goal, from my research, was she wanted to marry a man of status to kind of get out of the lifestyle. When she realized she was being pranked, she threw stones at the boys. In retaliation, the boys threw stones back, and one of them gave her a fatal blow to the head. Apparently, they were not small stones.
Or small boys.
Many claim to see a woman in white wandering the caves, or they'll hear a woman crying from within the caves.
I Sharona.
Like, either way that you put it, it's creepy. The Hellfire Caves are creepy. Secret societies are creepy to me. And
What, we're in like 6.
and they're terrifying. The only one that we're in is Bucky's.
Pussies. Love that beaver.
But yeah, that's kind of the introduction to Hellfire clubs and what they were. I'd heard of the Hellfire caves, but I didn't know that it was just kind of a Hellfire clubs was a term kind of used
Loosely.
yeah, for like clubs that did things like this. So yeah, what do you think?
A heart in a jar. That's good. It's good.
It's pretty deep
Why did the Australian guy steal it?
because they were at war with them during that time, and he took it. Probably thought it was worth something.
How did the Australian guy get there?
I don't know. You'll have to ask him.
There's not a bridge.
But
Where's
no,
it
I think that the Hellfire Clubs is a super neat topic. I know that there was a lot of history and a lot of information and everything, but definitely look it up. And I know that some very well-known paranormal investigators have been there, so definitely check out their stuff and what they found. Because I mean, there are some investigators that have found like Class A EVPs or like thermal imaging hits that are pretty substantial. So that's pretty cool.
If you go there, do you have to try to communicate by talking in Old English?
No, honey, I don't think so. Now, they do day tours. I did look and see if they do paranormal investigations, because I would love to someday like do something like that overseas. But they do day tours, and then they do special tours and stuff around Halloween. So I'm assuming like places around here do like paranormal tours for Halloween. I'm assuming that's what they do. I don't know. I didn't really look into it.
I want to be the Duke of Sandwiches.
Okay. But yeah, oh, his little face. But yeah, so thanks for hanging out with us, guys, for this episode. I'm probably going to start posting some polls on Instagram every now and then, letting you guys kind of pick and choose, because I have a really long list, and I just kind of that one, or we'll do that one, you know. So giving you guys some options on some stuff that you want to hear about, I think would be great.
I'm getting tired of her throwing darts at the computer. Ow.
I don't throw darts at the computer. But anyways, thanks for listening if you're listening. Thanks for watching if you're watching. Subscribe. Check us out on Anchor. Check us out on YouTube. If you feel like supporting us, please feel free to do so. And
if you want postcards when we travel places.
Yeah, we got a lot of postcards when we went to Point Pleasant that I want to send out to you guys. So I'm going to be setting that up here soon, so keep an eye out, and we will catch y'all next week. Bye!